can move that up. That car's totally going to hit your door getting out.
Shit.
We're recording. We're on Facebook Live right now. There's Tom from PWTs right
Hi.
there. We're recording this Facebook live stream, this podcast, all courtesy of Spongebob, the sponsor of Car Con Carne. Plain White Tees, just Friday night, you did your record release, Parallel Universe, at Reckless. How did that go?
It was great. It was great. A lot of people showed up. It was a lot of people.
Anytime it's a homecoming, it's a big deal, right?
I mean, for us, it was a huge deal. Yeah. We haven't put out a record for real in, geez, I don't even know. The last one we tried to do was in 2015, and it was self-released, so it was a very, it was like, yeah, okay, cool. It didn't really go, we didn't know what the hell we were doing, basically. So this time around, we're back with Fearless Records, which is the label we started on, and it feels so good. It feels so good to have someone backing us up so that we can do things like Reckless, and we can, get the music that we make out there so people know it's out there.
All right, we're in front of Los Burritos.
Am I close enough, by the way, to the mic? You can hear?
Okay, sound amazing.
Cool.
We're in front of Los Burritos Mexicanos. Los Burritos, of course, Spanish for the burritos.
Dos, by the way.
Numero dos.
Yes, there's another one over on the other side of town.
We're in Villa Park, which really was a Plain White Tees breeding ground. This was like the primordial soup that gave way to the band.
It sure was.
So I'm going to distribute burritos. Oh, you have yours.
I've got mine in my lap. I haven't opened it yet, though. I'm waiting for you.
Pick it open. You optimistically ordered a burrito. I followed suit. I guess we don't need a fork, right? You can just
you just go for it.
Yeah. Have a napkin.
Oh, thank you.
So, I mean, speaking of homecoming and Villa Park, I was thinking Fallout Boy did an EP that is Chicago themed. They just put that out there. How important is your Chicago-ness or your ties back here? I mean, as your star continues to rise and get stratospheric, how important is the grounding back in your roots?
I mean, I'm just like we were talking inside about this a little bit, but I'm such a suburban kid, always have been. I kind of feel like I always will be. Like, no matter where we've toured or traveled, I still feel, it feels so good coming back here to Chicago, to the birds. I love it. And I've got a son now, like I was saying, he's 8 years old, and so for him to grow up around here is kind of important to me. So
yeah, where people are, it's the Midwest.
Yeah,
people are grounded.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Parallel Universe a little bit. You guys have really evolved into this smart pop band. I mean, the songwriting seems the same, but musically you're doing interesting things texturally. I hear lots of 80s influences and keyboards on this, and synthy, and it just sounds a little more complex.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because we started the band back in '97, as you know, when I was bugging you about trying to get us on some shows or trying to play me the new Loud Lucy stuff or whatever. But so we started in that scene. It was kind of that pop punk scene in Chicago. So we just kind of came up, never really thinking outside the box. It was like, cool, we've got our guitars, we've got drums and bass, and that's how we do it. And obviously music has come such a long way since then. And, people are just making the coolest records in their bedrooms now with a laptop.
True.
And so for us we've always kind of teetered on that line of like, man, we want to kind of experiment. We want to do some of this stuff that we think is so cool, but we kind of, it's like unfamiliar territory for us, so we're kind of nervous there. B, we have this fan base. What are they going to think, So we've never really fully dove in to experimenting with a lot of sonic stuff. And in this record, we just kind of said, fuck it, like, we just want to make something that we think is cool, and that's what we did.
And you did it. Starting off with some of the songs on the album, let's talk about Light Up the Room.
Okay.
Do you consider yourself a romantic person?
So,
because the song sounds deeply romantic.
So, I do. But, I don't know, I've gone...
If you're watching on Facebook Live, he said, I do, and then he turned to look at me straight in the eye.
Yeah, it was like a proposal.
I got chills.
Yeah. So, I definitely do consider myself a romantic person, and I'm like an eternal optimist, I'm like the hopeful, hopeless romantic, right? But over the past few years, I've gone through a lot of like really bad relationship stuff, and so I'm kind of like, there's a song on which I see your notes we're gonna get to, called "Sick of Love," about halfway through the album, and that is
my heart needs replacing.
Yeah.
I can't feel a thing anymore.
Exactly. I mean, I really do.
You're not supposed to look at the notes.
Oh, sorry, I'm cheating. But yeah, there's definitely. I feel like I've lost a little bit of that. I don't know, a little bit of that romance. You know, I kind of feel like through the, not like love is bullshit or something like that, but just like I used to be all in, you know, love and just starry-eyed dreamer, trying to find that one girl that was perfect for me. And I don't know, it's just like my heart's a little bit harder and a little bit like blacker than it used to be. Yeah.
That song does have a great funky groove to it too.
Which one? Sick of Love? Or,
yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you. You're skipping. So, but Light Up the Room. So basically, it's funny. And all of the songs on the album, as we'll go through them, even the love songs, like Light Up the Room is like a, you know, more of a romantic, like adoring song to this girl. They're all a little bit dark and a little bit like, I don't know, you know, like Light Up the Room, it's kind of like this chick, I'm describing her as this chick that, you know, she don't break hearts, they get shattered, right? It's like she's the last chick I should be falling for or should be dealing with, but yet that's the one. Those are the ones that you're, you know, for some reason drawn to the most.
You just said something that I wanted to key in on, the darkness. Going back to the idea that you write these great pop songs and pop hooks, one of the things I think that sets Plain White T's apart from similar bands, there is that edge, that little bit of darkness behind the stuff.
There's a bit of a bit of a wink to some of the stuff.
A wink.
For sure. Well, you know, like I said, I am the optimist, but I love, it's really weird talking with my mouth full.
I know. I'm over it. I've long since got over it.
But I always love, just in music in general, the music that I tend to gravitate towards is always music that there's pushing boundaries a little bit, and, you know, sometimes a little bit darker. And so that always just kind of finds its way into my writing, I think. It's so much easier for me to write a song in a minor key than a major key, you know? I don't know why, it's just like it just feels cooler that way, or it feels more dark or whatever that way. So yeah.
Let's talk about optimism. Top of the World. That's a.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it feels like a propulsive, empowering. Things may be breaking bad, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's a jam. Song. Exactly. You nailed it. It's like going through all of the stuff in the verses. It's like, well, it's all kind of negative stuff, but hey, I got this. Or, you know,
I'm out of chips, but I'm still high rolling.
Exactly. Yeah. I love, my favorite line is the I can't sleep, but I'm always dreaming. I feel the heat, but I got no demons, which is totally false because I've got plenty of demons. But
we all do.
But in that moment, you know, sometimes you don't care about that, and you're like, no matter what bullshit happens, you're living it up. You're feeling good for whatever reason. And for me, that could be, you know, a good song sometimes is all you need to like change your mood and just make you feel good, make you feel alive.
Seeing a burrito.
A burrito, yeah. This burrito is pretty good. It's a little dry. We should have got sour cream or something, but that's okay.
Or some salsa, a little extra.
Yeah.
A little extra
hot
zip.
Sauce or something, yeah.
Now, Bonnie, I Want You. When I first heard it, I took everything on the surface. I thought it was about a hooker. I thought it was about a streetwalker.
Not too far off. No,
okay,
just kidding.
But I mean, having since dug a little deeper, I was off. I mean, this is about someone you knew.
Yeah. So this, you know, some of the lyrics in that song, you know, assuming that a lot of people listening to this or watching don't know the songs or don't know the album, but there's some.
It's brand new as we're talking
just
about.
Came out Friday.
Yeah.
So there's some lyrics, you know, what you gonna do when the drugs run out, stand in the street with your tits out, Bonnie, I want you. It's kind of like this juxtaposition of like, again, saying this chick is fucking nuts and stay away from her, but for some reason I want you. It's like, you know, you can do no wrong in my eyes, kind of a thing. Or maybe I'm just a little bit messed up too, so we kind of work together.
Tom likes the bad girls.
I don't know. It's, yeah, whatever. I'm over it.
You guys have been so embracing of the video format for your music.
Well, this album in particular.
I mean, right out of the gate.
We've already got 4 videos filmed, 3 out,
Now, in your body, the video for your body, you become a cyborg? What's going on there?
Yeah, so we have, I don't know what the hell we're doing. We're having fun with this album, and that's again, with, like I said before, the creating it, we didn't want to just stay in our box. We wanted to smash the walls and just be different, be unique, kind of carve our own path. And the videos, it's the same, the artwork even. I showed you the CD, same kind of thing.
Hold it up.
But the videos, yeah, same thing. We want to do, we've got some crazy planets. It's kind of got the 80s text,
Oh, yeah.
Kind of looks like a computer ad or something in the 80s, or I don't know. Pretty cool.
It does.
But yeah, so the videos, I'm just kind of trying to be creative and tell stories with the videos. We can do cutesy little boy girl videos all we want, and we have done that for how many years, so yeah, there we are. Punk rock tees right there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of videos in Chicago-ness, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I think that only has about 95 kajillion views on YouTube, so if we could talk about it, maybe we can draw some attention to it.
Yeah.
But that combines a lot of the stuff we're talking about. Romance, Chicago, your love for video.
Yeah. Do you want to know the story real quick about
the
video?
Of course I do.
So we made a video with a buddy of ours, Mike Venezia, who's also from Villa Park. And it was a video with, you can actually find it on YouTube, 41234. And it's this kind of cutesy sleepover video. There's some claymation stuff. The tees are on the moon. It's like a really dreamy, kind of whimsical video. Super cool. We all loved it. The label didn't like it, and they said, well, we're not gonna put this out, and we're not gonna pay for another video. So we're like, cool. Well, the song is trying to work its way on the charts. We need a video. So me and the same director, Mike Venezia, a buddy of mine from Villa Park, we got together at Portillo's down there over in Elmhurst, and we talked about, dude, we just got to make something low budget, just for free. Let's go out, shoot something kind of, off the cuff. And so the very next, we got the idea for the 1, 2, 3, 4 video, which was just go downtown, bring my guitar, break it out on a bunch of different street corners, and just whoever stops and comes up to us, we talk to them, and we get their little story of, their love stories, or if they're couples, or if they're friends, or what they're doing downtown that day. And so the next day we just did it. It was December. It was freezing outside. And we did it, we were down there for 5 hours the next day.
And in December, everyone downtown's in a good mood. If you're walking around Michigan Avenue, by the Art Institute.
Wait, are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm not.
It's the holidays. Everyone's super pissed off downtown.
No, I think, especially as you're talking to all the couples, everyone's kind of it's the holidays.
Yeah, that's true. The holiday thing
Work
helps.
shut down. We're dealing with family. I'm getting some gifts for my girlfriend. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, we ended up, a lot of people stopped and hung out, and we talked to them. And then we got all their little stories, and we made them sign a little hey, is it cool if we use this in our video? Yeah, sure. And then within 3 days, he had Mike Venezia, he had edited this video, sent it to me, and I was almost welling up. It was holy shit, dude, this is so good. We kind of killed this.
Yeah, it absolutely hit the mark.
The perfect sentiment for the song, and you said, just the love of Chicago, and everything just came together perfectly. So yeah, check it out. Our 10-year-old video for 1, 2, 3, 4.
The 10-year-old video.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's go back. We'll get back into parallel universe.
Sure. Hey there, Delilah.
Oh, that's yours. You
Yeah.
did that one.
Oh.
I wasn't even going to go to Hey There, Delilah yet, but we may as well. Tell me about this TV thing.
So super. That was unbelievable. How much coverage. And whatever that happened a couple weeks ago, I was getting texts from people I haven't heard from in years. Oh my God, congratulations. The thing is, it's super in development. I'm working with these producers about just putting together just the story arc. We've got the story arc, we've got this idea, and literally we're just starting to pitch it to networks and production companies for someone to basically pay to put it into production and have it made. So it's in the infant stages, and that press release came out and it just kind of blew up. So yeah, there's no real story yet, but there will hopefully be one very soon.
There's smoke there.
There's a little bit of smoke, yeah. A couple of mirrors as well, I think.
Speaking of Hey There, Delilah, it was 10 years ago. You were at the Grammys.
Yeah.
How insane was that period for you?
It was kind of just a whirlwind, you know.
Like, could you just not get your bearings during that period?
Kind of, yeah.
Just being led places.
Yeah, I think like, you know, touring in the van for 10 years or whatever it was leading up to that moment, you know, where you're like, we're giving each other $10 a day to live, you know, to get Taco Bell and McDonald's and you know, grinding it, getting, you know, selling our own merch, trying to hawk CDs and get money to get gas to make it to the next show. You know, you'd think that was the hard work and that was the grind, but having the hit and like that summer of when Delilah was like huge and like everywhere, like pretty much took years off our lives. I
believe it.
Like it was nonstop. You know, we'd fly in the morning, go straight to a radio station, play the song. We would do at least 3 radio stations a day playing the same, you know, playing Delilah, and then we would go do like some kind of sound check party for another radio station or something, and then we'd play a show, and then we would like do a red-eye flight, sleep on the plane, and do the same thing the next day. It was crazy.
It's fatiguing.
And of course then there's all these other things that are like, oh, and then you've got to go do like Jay Leno, and then do, you know, so there's like pressure, kind of high pressure gigs in there. You know, we did like Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve, which filmed in like September or something.
But to your point, you have to be on at all these things.
Oh,
like there is no down. You have to be fired up. You have to take on the world.
Yeah, not only on like, oh, I got to sing the song good, but you've got to be like charming, and you've got to make everybody feel great. And, you know,
And kind of to the point of what you were saying, you know, doing all these different things for radio. What was great about Delilah, it was agnostic. Like, every format wanted a piece of it.
Well, it started on alternative,
right?
Because we had Hate before that, which was a big alternative song.
It's a strong word.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, so then Delilah started there, and then just blew up, and eventually it was on like, I mean, obviously, you know, everywhere. It was #1 at Pop, #1 like on all the formats. It's crazy.
I mean, I think you've endeared yourself. The T's have endeared themselves to my family forever, simply because of the iCarly. Which I have seen every awful tween show. iCarly was always like one step above.
It was good.
It was.
We got lucky with that one.
That was. I mean, I've sat through Dog with a Blog. iCarly is iCarly was it. That was the show.
That was the show, and we had no idea. That was something. As Delilah was kind of growing, that was something that the label came to us, which is weird because the label was a Disney owned label.
Right, this was a Nick show.
Nickelodeon, so I don't know how that happened, but yeah, they came to us. There was some show. You guys should really do this, whatever. We're like, yeah, cool. It was just another thing in that whirlwind of stuff that we did one day, and when we got there, it had never aired. It was like they were, you know, filming the whole first season or whatever it was. And we got there and we recognized the girl, Miranda Cosgrove, as the girl from School of Rock.
Yes, of course.
Which that immediately we were all like, oh, cool. This is gonna be cool. She's cool. She's awesome, you know. And yeah, we did the show. We were in and out in, you know, 4 hours or something. And here we are 10 years later still talking about it. It's like that had such a huge impact, and we really had no clue. It was literally just another thing we were doing, like promo stuff.
Another place you were led.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump further back. Let's go back to the beginning of Plain White Tees.
Oh yeah.
What do you remember the most about those days? Slogging it out, trying to get gigs at Metro, loading up a van, selling your own merch. What do you remember about that grind?
It's so funny because it's like, man, it's so true. Like the good old days. You know, like those are the good old days. You know, I can think back to every period in my life. And I definitely had some awkward periods, you know, junior high and whatever. But it's like, I feel like all of that, I can look back pretty fondly on like everything in life. And yeah, I mean, that time it was awesome. It was like we had this fire, and we knew that we just had to do it. You know, there was like never a gig really that we'd say no to. It was we started the band, and we had our goal was to play the Metro within a year, and we did. You know, the Metro was like all through high school. That we lived there basically. You know, Q101 did the New Music Tuesdays, so we were there all the time for that. you know, just I saw Weezer on the Blue album there. It was like Smokey Popes were always. It was like always so much amazing music coming through Chicago. And at that time, music was super important. You know, the whole alternative scene was happening. So yeah, we started the band and just, yeah, like I said, Metro. That was our big goal. And within a year, we were there.
And I remember, I don't know if it was your first show there or not, but I remember the first time I saw you at Metro, you brought a crowd. I mean, that was a thing. Like, you brought them in from the
probably wasn't the first show.
Probably not.
No, I mean, yeah, the first show was literally like everybody we knew. Hey, you got to come see us at Metro. We need support. But yeah, eventually it definitely grew into something pretty tangible and pretty real in Chicago.
So the good old days.
There was a scene because of bands like Lucky Boys Confusion, and there was a whole a show off was kind of blowing up at that time, and we were all bros and we'd all play shows together in the burbs, and then we started taking it to the city and Metro and putting together these cool shows, and people really caught on.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, all right, let's leap ahead to the more present day. Spongebob Squarepants.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Tony nominated.
Yes, I know. It's crazy, right?
I mean, as we're sitting here in Villa Park, where you got your start, the idea that we're talking in the present day about BFF and Spongebob Squarepants.
Yeah.
How thrilling.
It's pretty cool.
Like, I'm sure when you had a vision of what success looks like back in those days, it didn't involve this.
It was this.
It was eating a burrito in my car.
James
actually, this is market. This is the Plain White Tees backslide starting right now, eating burritos in the car.
Perfect.
But I can't imagine what that whole experience was like for you.
Honestly, okay, so the experience was weird writing the song. So they had this idea, and for those who don't know, there's a SpongeBob musical right now on Broadway, and I wrote a song for it. But I wrote the song probably 5 years ago. It was like this thing where they were starting to develop a musical, kind of like my Hey There Delilah show. It's like, yeah, there's this musical happening. Nickelodeon, awesome. We want you to write a song. Cool. So I wrote this song, and the first pass that I, kind of had on it, sent it in, and oh, we love it. Thanks. We'll let you know what's going on. Year goes by.
Radio silence.
And I'm thinking, okay, I wonder whatever happened. I guess nothing, And then they hit me up, and they're like, oh, we love the song. The song's still in the show. We're developing it. Like, we need you to change a couple lines in the second verse to advance, story, plot, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's funny because I went back to re-record a couple lines, and I realized I didn't even demo the song like in Pro Tools. It was a voicemail on my phone. So I couldn't even go back and punch in a couple lines.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I didn't even re-demo the song. I just sent them the new lines, and they were like, "Great, we love it."
And they just put it together.
And they put it together. And again, it was a year goes by. I don't hear anything. And then the next thing you know, it's like, yeah, we're gonna be, opening it up. It opened in Chicago first last summer, I think, and so yeah, I ended up flying out to Vegas and Miami, a couple different places, to play the song BFF with the guy Ethan who plays SpongeBob, because they were kind of trying to hype it up with buyers or whatever, sponsors and stuff. And so I did a lot of that to kind of help out, get the thing off the ground. And then it premiered in Chicago. Brought my son and my grandma and my mom and stuff, and it was awesome. And then I went to the premiere on Broadway, and it was just such a it was even from Chicago to Broadway, it was like a demo to a master album.
I believe it.
It was crazy how much better it got.
What a thrilling experience for you.
Super cool. And then nominated for a Tony.
For a Tony.
Crazy.
So now we've got to get you in movies and more television.
I need the Oscar and the Emmy. I want the no. Even though I didn't win any Tony, didn't win any Grammy for Delilah.
But truly, I mean, it's the cliche, right? But it is an honor to be nominated.
Of course.
Holy crap.
It's crazy, yeah. Absolutely. And a Tony is just so far, I mean, I could see myself doing something for a movie or, obviously Grammy, but a Tony, was the farthest thing from my mind,
I love it. I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Parallel Universe is the new album. Let me see. Do I have anything else? Got tomato on my pants. I was going to say, oh my God, I've got tomato and oil right on my pants where it does not need to be. People will talk. No, I was going to say, speaking of the Tony and just doing things like iCarly 10 years ago, I think it's important to stretch out, to kind of put yourself in situations you wouldn't have imagined yourself in.
Oh yeah.
Try new stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's how we keep growing.
Is this going? Is this like
No,
a segue?
I'm making it, that's not really a question. Just a statement of fact.
I was waiting for you to like make me try something new or something.
Yeah, so with that, here's some tripe. Enjoy. So Parallel Universe is the new album. Obviously, as the gears are starting to move, there's probably a lot ahead. Tour, etc.
Tour, etc. Exactly. You nailed it.
That was an easy one. That was a layup. So when does that start? Is this like a big, we won't see you again for a long time tour?
You know, I'm not sure. It's funny because I have a son now. Mike, our bass player, he's got a son. Tim, our guitar player, he's got a little girl. So it's weird that like, you know, we're trying to tour. Back in the day, we were out for 300 days a year,
right?
Just grinding, living in the van. So we can't really do that nowadays with kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's we're figuring out the more strategic way of doing it, mm-hmm. which is nice. So for the next couple months, it's just a lot of. It's funny. We make more money going and doing some fly dates, flying mm-hmm. around the country, and then coming back home, than we would just getting in a bus and going and So that's what's happening the next couple months, and starting in 2000 and what is it? 19? Is that next year?
2019, yeah.
Yeah, that will be a lot more, on the road and touring and grinding it.
Love the new album. It sounds great.
Thank you.
I love following the evolution of Plain White Tees.
Yeah, it's been a weird one.
It's been a great one.
Lots of twists and turns, but it's like that's kind of
you
what
guys
makes
have always
it fun.
done your thing.
Yeah.
Like you followed your muse.
Yeah.
And here we are in a car
eating burritos
on North Avenue.
Yeah.
Park. All right, Parallel Universe is the album. Tom, you're amazing. Plain White Tees are great.
JVO.
Come on.
Legend.
Thank you for watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for listening on Car Con Carne. That's all I got. Eat your burrito.
Yeah.